You will not like what I'm about to tell you, but it may be the most important truth you ever face. If you ignore your potential, success will turn its back on you and never return. The world is full of men and women who live and die without ever brushing against the true limits of their abilities, simply because they will not face themselves. They make excuses. They blame circumstances. They wait for a sign, a mentor, a lucky break, when all along what they needed most was the courage to look their own potential in the eye and act upon it. Success is not blind. It is not random. It is ruthlessly selective, choosing only those who dare to demand more of themselves than yesterday and who refuse to hide from their own possibilities. Understand this now. You were not born to drift through life as a spectator. You were not sent here to fit into the great crowd of average men. The burning desire that sometimes stirs in your gut is not a trick, not a fleeting dream, but the call of your own latent greatness. Yet most smother it. Most drown it with entertainment, distraction, procrastination, or the slow poison of self-doubt. They convince themselves that the real action is somewhere else, that they must wait for the right time or the perfect conditions. But the graveyard is full of men who waited. Potential does not bloom in the future. It is an urgent fire that can only burn now. If you do not fan the flames of your potential with your own daily effort, you are not merely wasting time, you are betraying yourself. No one else can do it for you. No one else will see your possibility as clearly as you can. Do not expect applause or encouragement from the world. In fact, expect resistance. The world is often threatened by those who stretch for more, who refuse to accept the mediocre, who choose to rise when everyone else is settling. You must become your own greatest supporter, your own harshest critic, your own relentless coach. You must hold yourself to a standard higher than anyone else would dare. Success is not waiting for you at some distant finish line. It is found in every decision you make to use your mind, your time, your energy in the pursuit of mastery. Every hour wasted is a brick removed from the foundation of your own legacy. Every excuse you speak is another door slammed in the face of your dreams. There is no mystery here. Success is drawn to those who demonstrate through consistent action that they are worthy of more. If you are not stretching, you are shrinking. If you are not growing, you are decaying. Potential does not last forever. If you ignore it, it will wither. But if you honor it, success will be forced to honor you. Most men believe the lie that potential is something you are simply born with, a static thing that sits waiting for discovery. But potential is alive. It is forged, not found. It is shaped by discipline, refined by struggle, and revealed only through relentless effort. You cannot coast on yesterday's effort. You cannot rely on the skills you built last year. Your potential is a living thing, and it demands to be fed. Feed it with new knowledge, with greater challenges, with higher standards. Set a goal that is slightly out of reach, and stretch for it every single day. Do not settle for what is comfortable. Comfort is the enemy of greatness. You will never rise by comparing yourself to the average. Most people are too quick to point at their surroundings and declare, "I would do more if only I had more." They fail to realize that every man who ever did something extraordinary began with what he had and refused to remain the same. If you are waiting for permission, you will wait forever. No one is coming to rescue you from mediocrity. No one is coming to force you to become who you could be. That task is yours alone. The sooner you accept this, the sooner you will see doors open that you never knew existed. If you want success, stop chasing the approval of the world and start demanding more from yourself. The standards you set, the disciplines you enforce, the vision you hold, these are the real markers of your destiny. Potential is nothing without performance. Dreams are worthless without discipline. Ambition without action is a cruel joke. Every single day you avoid the work required to stretch your abilities, you are choosing obscurity over achievement. You are choosing comfort over greatness. If you want to become someone that success cannot ignore, you must first become someone who will not ignore their own promise. Your mind is a garden. Whatever you plant and nurture will grow. If you plant doubt, fear, and excuses, you will harvest failure. But if you plant discipline, belief, and tireless action, you will reap rewards far beyond what you now imagine. This is not wishful thinking. It is cause and effect. The world is merciless to those who squander their talents, but it is generous to those who maximize them. Success will not come knocking on your door. You must chase it, build it, force it to take notice by the magnitude of your focus and the consistency of your work. Every man faces a moment when he must decide, do I retreat into what is easy, or do I push forward into what is possible? This is the crossroads of potential. This is where the average give up and the exceptional are born. The difference is not luck. It is resolve. It is the daily decision to do the thing you fear, to pursue the goal that challenges you, to learn the skill that makes you indispensable. The man who makes these decisions repeatedly, regardless of mood, weather, or circumstance, is the man who ultimately commands his destiny. If you want to make your mark, do not ask for a map. Maps are for those who wish to follow the crowd. You must become the explorer, the builder, the pioneer of your own path. Your potential is not found in someone else's plan. It is discovered in the moments you act boldly, when you persist beyond failure, when you refuse to settle for good enough. Most men are imprisoned by their own limitations because they believe them to be real. But limitations are merely untested possibilities. If you want more, do more. If you want to be more, become more. The formula is simple, but few are willing to pay the price. So let me speak to you directly. As a man who has seen the highest and lowest of what a human being can achieve, do not become another casualty of wasted potential. Do not let this day slip by without taking a clear step toward your greatest possibility. Write the plan, take the risk, invest in your growth, outwork your doubts, outlast your distractions, outbelieve your critics. There will be moments when you are tired, when you want to quit, when your progress seems invisible. These are the moments that matter most, for they are the gates through which only the worthy pass. Do not mistake movement for progress. The world is full of busy men who accomplish nothing. Focus your energy. Set fewer goals, but pursue them with ferocity. Refine your craft until you are impossible to ignore. Build habits that turn your intentions into automatic action. Track your growth, reward your discipline, and never forget that the true tragedy in life is not failing to reach someone else's standard, but failing to reach your own. Success is not a game of chance. It is the prize for those who master themselves. You can either spend your life explaining away your potential, or you can spend it fulfilling it. But remember, if you ignore your potential, success will ignore you. And the cost of that neglect is nothing less than your purpose, your legacy, and your rightful place among the few who chose to rise. If you are waiting for someone to come along and give you permission to be great, you will wait until your bones turn to dust. The men who make history, the women who shake the foundations of the world, do not ask for validation. They demand it by the standard of their actions. When you choose to ignore your potential, you are not only forfeiting your own destiny, but you are denying the world of your gifts. Think of that. All the dreams, inventions, movements, and masterpieces that never saw the light of day, not because fate conspired against them, but because their creators failed to command their own greatness. Your purpose is not something to be found in the shadows. It must be dragged into the light through the force of your determination. Do not be seduced by the myth that your potential will lie in wait for you, patient and undiminished, until you feel ready to seize it. No, potential is like a muscle. Use it, or it atrophies. Every day you avoid the necessary discomfort of growth. Every time you retreat to the shallow waters of habit, you make it easier to surrender tomorrow. The tragedy is not in reaching too high and failing. The tragedy is in lowering your sights to avoid effort, in making a silent agreement with mediocrity because you fear what lies beyond your current abilities. Success punishes this attitude harshly. Life rewards the few who decide that their capacity is not fixed, that they can forge themselves anew, that yesterday's limitations have no bearing on tomorrow's results. You must realize that the pursuit of your potential is not an act of arrogance, but one of duty. If you were given the seed of greatness, it is not for your ego, but for your stewardship. It is your responsibility to cultivate it, to expand it, and to transform it into tangible results. True success is the byproduct of this relentless expansion of self, this daily commitment to move the needle, to make progress no matter how incremental. There will be days when the results are invisible, when your effort feels wasted, when your progress is a whisper rather than a shout. This is not failure. This is the necessary friction that polishes you for greater battles. Most people stumble not because they lack opportunity, but because they lack the courage to say yes to themselves. You have seen it, people who light up with a dream and then snuff it out at the first sign of inconvenience. They let comfort seduce them into inaction. They let criticism freeze their ambition. They allow the momentum of the ordinary to pull them back to the land of the forgotten. But those who answer the call of their own potential learn to see adversity as a test. They do not shy away from the grind. They understand that diamonds are made under pressure, that excellence is forged in the furnace of difficulty. What you do in the dark, when no one is watching, is what determines if you ever step into the spotlight. If you want to ensure success cannot ignore you, you must become obsessed with your own evolution. Do not confuse this with self-obsession. It is the opposite. The world needs more men and women who have stretched themselves to their limits, who have built character strong enough to support their vision. Self-mastery is not selfish. It is the ultimate act of contribution. If you do not become more, you will have less to give. If you remain stuck, you become a cautionary tale for those who come after you. Legacy is not built in one grand gesture, but in the accumulation of small daily victories over yourself. You must treat your potential as a sacred trust, not as a vague possibility. Each day, ask yourself, am I living beneath my capabilities, or am I setting new standards for what is possible? Success is never satisfied with what you did last week. It only cares what you are doing now, what you are building next, how you are adapting and growing. The most dangerous enemy you face is not the competition outside, it is the complacency within. Comfort whispers lies that tomorrow will be a better time to change, but tomorrow is the graveyard of ambition. The only time you have is now. Consider your own life with brutal honesty. Are you acting as the architect of your future or the caretaker of your excuses? Are you investing in skills, knowledge, relationships, and habits that move you forward, or are you merely drifting with the current, hoping for luck to intervene? The path to greatness is not paved with luck, but with daily decisions that honor your true capacity. You must build the discipline to do what must be done, even when you do not feel like it. Discipline is the bridge between potential and achievement, and without it, you will never close the gap. You must also surround yourself with those who see the greatness in you, not those who validate your comfort. The company you keep is either fuel for your fire or water on your flame. Choose mentors and allies who demand your best, who challenge you to rise, who refuse to accept your excuses. Iron sharpens iron. Mediocrity breeds mediocrity. Make it your mission to be the hardest worker in any room, not to impress others, but to prove to yourself that your potential is not being ignored. And when you face setbacks, and you will, do not interpret them as signs to quit. Every successful person has a graveyard of failures behind them, but they did not let those defeats become their identity. They used them as raw material for growth, as lessons, as fuel. Failure is not a reason to abandon your potential. It is a call to refine it, to adapt, to come back stronger. The man who will not be denied is the man who learns from every stumble, who keeps moving forward even when the path is steep and lonely. Your potential is not a passive inheritance. It is an active calling. You must seize it with both hands. You must push beyond the familiar, challenge your assumptions, question your own limits, make bold commitments and back them with massive action. Do not be afraid of being called obsessed. Obsession is the natural state of the man who refuses to leave his potential untapped. When you go all in, when you devote yourself fully, when you refuse to be outworked or outlasted, success has no choice but to notice you. Most of all, do not let regret become your companion. Regret is the slow-burning sorrow of a man who ignored his promise. Years from now, you will not mourn the risks you took or the times you failed. You will mourn the chances you never seized, the talents you left undeveloped, the life you could have lived but did not. Make the decision today that you will not allow your potential to be ignored any longer. Set a standard so high that even your past self would be inspired. Take action so consistent that you become unrecognizable to those who once knew you. You have one life. The world does not owe you recognition, rewards, or reassurance. It only gives to those who give everything they have. Stop waiting. Stop doubting. Stop looking for shortcuts. Step into your potential fully, without apology or hesitation. That is how you become the kind of person success cannot ignore, because you have refused to ignore yourself. And as you move forward from this moment, let this truth be etched on your mind. The more you honor your potential, the more the world will honor you in return. If you choose comfort, you choose mediocrity. But if you choose growth, if you choose to push, to strive, to outdo yourself, there will come a day when you look in the mirror and see not only what you are, but all that you have become. And that, above all else, is the victory that matters. You must awaken each day with a decision, not a hope, not a wish, but a decision that today you will reach further than you did yesterday. The world will tempt you to believe that your potential is some distant promise, that you can wait until the stars align or inspiration strikes to begin your ascent. This is a lie. The clock is always running. Every moment spent in hesitation is a brick in the wall that separates you from the life you could have built. There is only one way to ensure that success cannot pass you by. You must train yourself relentlessly and deliberately to become the person who attracts it as surely as the sun attracts the dawn. Greatness is not stumbled upon, it is summoned. If you live with the illusion that talent alone will deliver you, understand this. Raw talent is nothing more than potential energy. It must be transformed by willpower, discipline, and purposeful action into a force that can shape your reality. The most tragic waste is not the man who never had a gift, but the man who had it and never bothered to sharpen it. You must commit to the grind, to the process of continual self-development until your skills become second nature and your will becomes unbreakable. Ask yourself now, what have you been postponing? What excuse has become your companion? Do you wait for a perfect moment to take a leap, or do you settle for repeating the same small actions, hoping for a breakthrough without ever changing your approach? The secret, the successful no, is simple. Progress is born not from the extraordinary effort once in a while, but from consistent, purposeful daily labor. You cannot plant a single seed and expect a harvest. You must tend the field every day, whether the sky is clear or stormy. Consistency is the mother of mastery. Only the disciplined ever truly taste the fruit of their own potential. There will be times, of course, when you doubt yourself. The mind, untrained, is a cunning adversary. It will whisper old beliefs, feed you memories of failure, and convince you that your limits are set in stone. This is the first dragon you must slay, the tyranny of your own doubts. You must feed your mind with new thoughts. Read, listen, surround yourself with ideas and people who lift you higher. The man who ignores his potential spends more time justifying his stagnation than working on his liberation. Your self-talk, your environment, your habits, these are the levers by which you raise or lower your destiny. Let no one tell you the road will be easy. The price of fulfilling your potential is paid in advance and in full every single day. You must work when others rest, plan when others drift, persist when others surrender. Be ruthless with your distractions. The world is designed to seduce you into mediocrity, gossip, mindless entertainment, endless comparison. Every minute you give to these thieves is a minute you steal from your own greatness. Guard your time as you would a treasure, for in truth, it is your only irretrievable asset. In this journey, accountability is your ally. If you want to rise, do not hide from your goals. Make them public to yourself. Write them down. Review them every morning. Ask yourself, what is one action I can take today, however small, that moves me closer to my vision? Take that action before the world's demands intrude. Build the habit of momentum, for nothing is as powerful as a soul in motion. The small victories, compounded day after day, become the avalanche that carries you to your destination. Remember that failure is not your enemy. The man who never fails is the man who never dared. Each misstep is a teacher, each setback a lesson in disguise. The pain of honest effort will fade, but the pain of regret will grow heavier with time. Let your failures be milestones, not tombstones. Examine them, extract the lesson, and carry forward with greater wisdom. The successful are not those who have never been knocked down, but those who never lost the will to rise again. Do not wait for passion to appear before you act. Passion is not the starting point. It is the reward for sustained action. When you throw yourself into your work, when you give more than you thought possible, when you see progress, no matter how modest, your desire grows. Passion is the child of progress. The man who acts first feels more later. When you act, your potential expands. When you wait, it shrinks. The universe responds to boldness, to those who move with intention and conviction. Isolation is a silent killer of potential. Seek out those whose lives challenge you, whose work ethic embarrasses you, whose results force you to question your own standards. Do not envy them. Learn from them. Greatness leaves clues. Study the habits, rituals, and mindsets of the masters in your field, then adapt them for your own journey. If you walk with those who are content, you will become content. If you walk with those who strive, you will be forced to grow. Your associations are the invisible architects of your future. And when you look in the mirror, be honest. The world will lie to you to keep you comfortable. You must be the one who speaks the truth. Am I truly doing all I can with what I have? Do not accept less from yourself because others settle. Do not shrink your dreams to fit the expectations of the small-minded. Your potential is your birthright. To ignore it is to insult the very force that gave you life. Each day is a vote for the man or woman you are becoming. Cast your ballot with conviction. There is a compounding effect to personal growth. At first, the changes are invisible. But as you persist, your skills sharpen, your confidence grows, and opportunities appear as if by magic. What was once impossible becomes routine. Success is not a single event. It is the accumulation of 1,000 quiet victories, of days spent pushing past comfort, of nights spent planning when others sleep. This is how you become the exception, not the rule. Do not ask if you are worthy of success. Ask if your effort is worthy of your potential. Commit to the daily grind with the knowledge that every drop of sweat, every moment of discipline is an investment in a future that only you can create. Others may doubt you. Let them. Their disbelief is not your problem. Your self-betrayal is. Silence the inner critic by outworking it. Build a reputation with yourself that cannot be shaken by circumstance or opinion. In the end, your potential will haunt you or it will bless you. The choice is yours. To live as a shadow of what you could have been is the true tragedy. But to stretch, to strive, to give everything you have, this is the glory of living. Make the decision right now that you will no longer betray the promise within you. Push, persist, adapt, grow. Because if you ignore your potential, success will surely ignore you. But if you honor it, if you build it, if you turn it into reality, success will have no choice but to come searching for you. If you wish to rise above your current station, you must begin by understanding that potential is not some ethereal concept reserved for the gifted or the chosen. It is the raw material from which greatness is forged, the silent power sleeping within every human being, yours included. But here is the truth that most never accept. Potential is perishable. Left untapped, it withers and rots. You must mine it, mold it, and put it to use before time sweeps your opportunities into oblivion. Life will not wait for you to get ready. It will not pause while you contemplate your next move. It demands action, and it rewards only those who answer its call with conviction. Begin by cultivating absolute self-honesty. This is the bedrock of all achievement. You must strip away the comforting illusions, the rationalizations, and the excuses that shield you from discomfort. Each day, ask yourself, am I truly challenging myself? Or am I hiding behind routine, avoiding the difficult work of growth? You cannot deceive yourself into greatness. The men and women who transform their potential into results are those who are willing to confront their own weaknesses and turn them into strengths. You must seek out your blind spots, root out your complacency, and replace self-pity with self-inquiry. Discipline is the great liberator. Most people see discipline as a prison, a set of limitations imposed upon their desires. They are mistaken. Discipline is the very force that sets you free from the tyranny of wasted talent and unfulfilled dreams. It transforms vague intentions into concrete results. When you master discipline, you become a craftsman of your own fate. You do not wait for inspiration, you manufacture it. You do not hope for luck, you engineer opportunity through relentless effort. Discipline is the muscle that lifts you over obstacles and carries you through fatigue, disappointment, and doubt. To develop discipline, start with structure. Design your days. Establish rituals that reinforce your highest priorities and eliminate the trivial. Do not drift through life at the mercy of mood or circumstance. Build a fortress of habits that protect your time, your energy, and your focus. Wake early. Plan your day before the world can intrude. Set clear, measurable targets for your progress. Review them nightly and adjust as needed. The path to your potential is paved with small, daily victories that compound into extraordinary results. Let your routine be your guardian. Let your habits become your legacy. You will encounter setbacks. This is inevitable. Failure is not the end, but the midwife of your next breakthrough. Every defeat contains a lesson, a hidden key to your advancement. Do not shrink from adversity. Welcome it as the test that reveals your commitment. If you stumble, examine why. Was it lack of preparation? Poor judgment? Surrender to fear? Whatever the cause, extract the lesson and apply it without delay. The resilient do not merely survive hardship, they are sculpted by it. The more you learn to rebound, the more powerful you become. Do not waste energy comparing your journey to others. The quickest way to squander your potential is to measure your worth against external benchmarks. The only comparison that matters is who you were yesterday versus who you are today. When you focus on becoming better, stronger, and wiser each day, you place yourself in a league of your own. The crowd chases applause, you chase progress. The world is full of those who settle for imitation. True leaders are those who dare to be original, who trust their own path and sharpen their own tools. Harness the power of decision. Every day, life presents you with a choice: to move closer to your potential or to move further away. Indecision is the thief of dreams. It erodes confidence and breeds regret. You must develop the habit of decisive action. Trust your judgment, commit to your course, and adjust as necessary. Waiting for certainty is a luxury you cannot afford. Life rewards movement, not paralysis. Even the wrong decision is often better than no decision because it gives you feedback, builds resilience, and clarifies your direction. Your environment is a reflection of your standards. Surround yourself with those who challenge you, who hold you accountable, who inspire ambition rather than drain it. Avoid the complainers, the critics, and the cynics. They are poison to your growth. Seek mentors and allies who see more in you than you see in yourself, who demand your best and push you to keep climbing. Remember, you are the average of those you spend the most time with. Elevate your associations, and you will elevate your destiny. Never neglect the mind-body connection. Physical health is the engine of mental clarity, energy, and endurance. You cannot expect to access your highest potential if you ignore your health. Eat with intention, move daily, and rest deeply. Treat your body as the vessel through which your ambitions are realized. The sharpest minds are often housed in disciplined bodies. When you feel strong, you think strong. The discipline you build in one area of your life bleeds into all others. Faith in yourself is not arrogance. It is the anchor that steadies you through the storms of doubt. You must become your own greatest believer, your own relentless advocate. When setbacks strike, when critics scoff, when progress slows, return to your vision. See it, feel it, affirm it with every fiber of your being. Speak your intentions aloud. Write them down daily. Make your goals so vivid that they crowd out your fears. This is not blind optimism. It is the mental discipline required to override the doubts that would sabotage your journey before it even begins. Above all, take ownership of your results. Victims wait for circumstances to change. Leaders change their circumstances. You are not a bystander in your own life. Every outcome you experience is either a reflection of your effort or a lesson for your improvement. Stop blaming, stop complaining, Stop waiting for permission. Stand in the authority of your own life and declare, I will become the architect of my future. This single decision, made in earnest, can ignite a chain reaction of growth that propels you further than you ever imagined. Never let a single day pass without moving the needle. Progress does not have to be grand. It simply must be consistent. Some days you will leap forward, other days you will crawl. But as long as you refuse to surrender, as long as you demand more from yourself than from the world, you are fulfilling your potential in the only way that matters, by turning it into tangible results. Let your journey be your message. The world needs more men and women who refuse to die with their music still inside them, who see potential not as a burden but as a sacred obligation. Become that person. Pursue your growth with urgency. Live so fully that your results speak louder than your words. Success does not come to those who wait. It comes to those who act again and again until what was once impossible becomes inevitable. Do not rest until you have used every gift, seized every opportunity, and exhausted every possibility. The tragedy is not in failing. The tragedy is in never truly trying. You were born for more. Honor that truth with your actions, and watch as success finds you drawn irresistibly to the one who refuses to ignore his own potential. Understand now, and let it burn into your memory. Potential is not a fixed reservoir, nor is it a privilege granted to the few. It is a living force within you, demanding engagement, discipline, and belief. If you fail to recognize and respond to your own promise, life will not compensate for your neglect. Instead, it will bypass you, delivering its rewards to those who dared to act, to persist, and to grow. Most men wait for permission from the world to step into greatness, not realizing that the world is only waiting for them to permit themselves. The moment you decide that your gifts, no matter how rough or untested, are worthy of cultivation, you ignite the true process of achievement. You must become ruthlessly intentional with your growth. The ordinary man treats his talent like an inheritance that will never run out. He spends it carelessly, squandering days on distractions, feeding his mind on small ambitions, and dismissing the call to more with the deadliest of excuses. Not yet. Not now. Maybe later. But you must see these words for what they are, the chains that hold you prisoner to mediocrity. Begin today by making a sacred contract with yourself. Write it, speak it, repeat it until your subconscious accepts no lesser alternative. I will not leave this life with my best unused. I will not let fear decide my fate. I will build myself daily, intentionally, relentlessly. There will always be resistance, for the climb to your highest self is not a gentle ascent, but a battlefield. Each morning, discipline your mind to expect challenge. Do not shrink from hardship or adversity, for these are the tools by which your potential is shaped into reality. Comfort is the enemy of greatness. It is the silent assassin that kills more dreams than failure ever could. Train yourself to crave the difficult, to welcome the tasks that others avoid. The diamond is not created in ease, but in pressure and heat. You must also master the art of focus. In this world, distractions come wrapped as opportunities, and noise is mistaken for urgency. The man who is easily scattered, who allows his attention to be divided and diluted, will achieve little beyond the ordinary. Develop the discipline to set aside what does not serve your purpose. Each day, identify the single most important action that brings you closer to your ultimate vision. Commit to it with all your energy and refuse to be pulled off course by the trivial. Progress is not found in motion, but in concentrated effort. Self-reflection is a weapon most neglect. To realize your potential, you must become your own fiercest critic and wisest friend. At the close of each day, audit your actions. Ask yourself with honesty, did I honor my commitments? Did I spend my time building, learning, striving, or did I let myself be lulled by comfort and routine? This practice of daily review, performed with humility and hunger, is the secret by which the most successful men continually refine themselves. Let each day end with gratitude for progress and resolve for improvement. Feed your mind with purpose. The books you read, the conversations you engage in, the ideas you entertain, all are seeds planted in the soil of your subconscious. If you fill your mind with gossip, negativity, and small thinking, you cannot expect to reap a harvest of greatness. Instead, immerse yourself in thoughts that challenge and uplift you. Seek out wisdom wherever it can be found. Books, mentors, even adversity. Commit to lifelong learning, for the man who stops growing starts dying. Do not underestimate the power of your environment. If you wish to awaken your potential, place yourself among those who expect more from you. Association with ambitious, disciplined, and forward-thinking people will raise your own standards almost automatically. Likewise, exposure to mediocrity, pessimism, and laziness will erode your resolve. You do not owe your loyalty to environments that diminish you. You owe it to yourself and to your future to choose wisely, even if it means standing alone for a season. Action is the final measure of belief. Too many dream and plan, but never cross the threshold into execution. Resolve that your ideas will not become another casualty of procrastination. Each day, take a step, however small, in the direction of your potential. Progress is found not in grand gestures, but in the compounding effect of daily effort. The small task done well, repeated over time, carves out the path to mastery. When you discipline yourself to act in spite of fear, doubt, or discomfort, you forge the self-trust upon which all achievement is built. Prepare yourself for setbacks, for they are inevitable companions on the road to greatness. But never confuse a defeat with finality. Every reversal is an invitation to learn, to recalibrate, and to redouble your efforts. Persistence is the antidote to disappointment. The world respects those who cannot be broken, who rise one more time than they fall. Make it your aim to develop such resilience that no failure can discourage you for long. See setbacks as feedback and keep moving forward. Remember, the true competition is not with the world, but with your former self. Aim each day to surpass your own previous limits. Celebrate improvement, not perfection. Progress is rarely linear. There will be days of advancement and days of struggle. But if you keep your vision in focus and your standards unyielding, you will look back after months and years to see just how far you have come. The gap between where you started and where you now stand will astonish you, and it will inspire you to climb even higher. Never, under any circumstance, surrender your responsibility to define your own destiny. Society, peers, and even loved ones will often urge you to stay within safe boundaries, to accept the average, to settle for what is. Smile at their advice, but listen instead to the whisper within, the whisper that tells you there is more. Success is a path walked alone, at least at first. Trust yourself. Give yourself permission to want more, to demand more, and to become more. Let gratitude be your companion, not as an excuse for inaction, but as fuel for ambition. Be grateful for the opportunities you have, for the abilities you possess, and for the growth you have experienced. But do not let gratitude breed complacency. Use it as motivation to honor your gifts by using them fully. The greatest tribute you can pay to life is to become all that you are capable of being. Potential ignored is potential wasted, and wasted potential is the foundation of regret. There will come a day when time runs short and your opportunities are no more. On that day, let your answer be clear. I used everything I was given. I became everything I was meant to be. Let that be your legacy. For when you refuse to ignore your potential, when you act daily to build, learn, and grow, you become the exception. You become the rare individual to whom success cannot help but be drawn, for you have become its living embodiment. Now, take a breath, look inward, and renew your commitment. The world awaits the fullest version of you, not the half-hearted, not the tentative, not the uncertain. Push beyond comfort, reach past limitation, and demand from yourself the excellence that you secretly know you possess. In doing so, you do not merely chase success. You make yourself impossible for success to ignore. Let us draw back the curtain on the final and most transformative truth. The world you wish to change, the fortunes you long to claim, the reputation you dream to earn, are all echoes, reflections of your own internal commitment to become your highest self. The reason most men wander lost, disillusioned, never fulfilling their promise, is not lack of ability, opportunity, or even luck. It is the lack of ruthless, daily engagement with their potential. They treat their gifts as ornaments, not as obligations. They wait for the right time as if the clock itself will one day unlock their greatness. But life offers no such guarantee. It waits for no one. And while you delay, your powers atrophy, your ambitions rust, and the window for extraordinary achievement narrows until, at last, regret takes its place on the throne where your vision should have reigned. The discipline to heed your potential is not a single act, but a philosophy, a lifelong vow. It is the understanding that just as a field must be tilled, sown, and protected from weeds, so must the mind be trained, guarded, and put to productive work. Each morning, you are confronted with a choice: to invest your energy in building your greatest asset, yourself, or to drain your spirit in fruitless diversions and easy satisfactions. Each night, you will answer to your conscience for how you used the precious day. Make it a habit to look back, not with excuses, but with pride in the day's honest effort. Do not be seduced by the appearance of achievement in others. Gossip and shallow metrics will tempt you to compare your progress to those around you. But understand this: your only rival is your own untapped potential. If you focus on external recognition, you become a puppet pulled by the strings of others' approval. If you concentrate on internal mastery, you gain real freedom, freedom to pursue work that matters, to withstand criticism, and to advance even when applause is absent. Greatness is not an act of impulse or inspiration. It is a deliberate, repeated conquest of your own weaknesses. The mind, if undisciplined, will drag you down with fear, indecision, and rationalization. The body, if untrained, will betray your intentions with fatigue and laziness. You must therefore establish a regimen. Fix your goals, design your days, protect your environment, and above all, make and keep promises to yourself. Self-respect is forged by honoring your word to yourself, even when the world is not watching. Do not underestimate the compounding effect of small daily victories. Every new skill you practice, every hour you resist distraction and embrace focus, every moment you step outside your comfort zone adds up to a life of consequence. Never despise humble beginnings or incremental gains. The mountain is climbed one step at a time. The novel is written one page at a time. Fortunes are built one disciplined day at a time. Do not be lured by shortcuts. They rob you of the character and wisdom that true effort provides. Resist the urge to cling to old identities, for they are the shadows of who you once were, not who you are becoming. Many men are prisoners of their past failures, held back by memories of what they could not do. Others are trapped by the comfort of old successes, mistaking yesterday's victories for a lasting guarantee of tomorrow's relevance. You must cut free from both. Let your identity be defined by your commitment to continual growth, not by any single outcome. Every day is a chance to reintroduce yourself to the world as the man who is becoming. The most powerful force you possess is the ability to choose your response to any circumstance. The world will not always be fair. You will encounter opposition, setbacks, and even betrayal. Do not ask for an easy road. Ask for the strength to walk the hard road with courage and consistency. Each hardship, rightly used, sharpens your resolve and deepens your wisdom. When you train yourself to see opportunity in adversity, you become dangerous to the forces of mediocrity. You become unstoppable. Practice solitude, not as escape, but as an engine for clarity. In the silence, far from the noise of expectation and judgment, ask yourself the hardest questions. Am I living in accordance with my highest potential? Am I moving toward my vision or just drifting? Am I using my talents or wasting them? In the honest answers, you will find the map for your next steps. Let solitude become the crucible where your future is forged. True wealth begins not in the bank, but in the mind. All riches, whether material, emotional, or spiritual, are magnetized by a mind that expects abundance, prepares for it, and welcomes it. Scarcity begins with small thinking, with doubts, with resignation to just enough. Decide today that you are worthy of more, not from entitlement, but from the understanding that your untapped potential is a trust placed within you, waiting to be developed and released into the world. There will always be doubters, often closest to you, who will urge you to be realistic, to temper your ambition, to know your place. Smile, thank them, and return to your work. Never argue for your limitations. Never justify to anyone, least of all yourself, why you should remain small. The future belongs to those who dare, who act, who persist. Those who demand more of themselves than anyone else would dare to expect. Leave a legacy that cannot be ignored. This is not a matter of ego, but of duty. The world is improved by men who strive, who build, who inspire, who uplift. When you give the world the best of your talents, discipline, and courage, you give permission to others to do the same. And that, more than money or accolades, is the true measure of success. To have multiplied your own potential in the lives of others. Let the final word be a call to arms. Begin now. Not tomorrow, not when things settle down, not after you have more confidence or certainty or support. Begin now, where you are, with what you have. Each moment spent hesitating is a moment stolen from the future that could be yours. Each day spent growing is a day invested in the only asset that can never be taken from you, yourself. Discipline your mind. Nurture your spirit. Honor your vision. And above all, act. For if you ignore your potential, success will pass you by without a second glance. But if you embrace it, relentlessly, daily, fiercely, success itself will have no choice but to turn and run after you. And that, dear reader, is how men become legends.